couple days ago, we had a full day's worth. We did a day in the studio, and then we did a rehearsal that night, and then we got up the next morning and jumped straight into press. But the record label here in Paris just got us a hotel room in the same hotel we are, like a big suite to do all the press in and like a photo shoots and all that shit. And so it's a really nice room. And at the end, we did our wardrobe in there, hair and makeup, everything happened in that room. So I had a key for it. And when we were done for the night, like we finished up, we then went from there over to the TV show to do the TV hit. And coming out of it, I asked our French label rep, Tanguy, nice guy, great guy. He was like, oh, thank you for everything. And I was like, hey, listen, the room back at the hotel 305, is it still open? Because I left the wardrobe we didn't use. I just left it there. I didn't bring it. And he's like, oh, no. It was only available until 3 p.m. And it's like 11:30 at night at this point. Huh. Interesting. So I do the due diligence thing. I do my right thing. My boss has been grinding, working, playing, dancing, like busting his balls to do his best work over here. And so I'm like, yo, John, you want to, we still have that room. Do you want to go use the bath? Like there's that huge bathtub. I mean, you could fit fucking Dikembe Mutombo in this bathtub, man. It's massive tub. And I'm like, man, I could go for a swim in this fucking thing. And
Shaq would be disappointed because he can't fit.
Yeah, Shaq doesn't fit in anything. That's the problem with Shaq. So anyway, I'm like, oh, John, you want it? He's like, nah, man, I'm cool. I'm just gonna go, cool out and pass out, and I'm good. Because by this point it's like midnight. We just have dinner. We had dinner at like 12:25, and at 12:30, I'm like, you want the spot? He's like, nah, and I'm like, ooh, fuck it then. I'm gonna use it. I don't care. This is one of the perks of being me. So I come back to my room, and I like throw on my bathrobe because we've got bathrobes in this fancy swanky hotel, and I go, it's one floor up. So I like run up the stairs in just my bathrobe, and I go into the room. I let myself in. I run the bath. I drop all the bath salts in. I'm like, fuck, I'm living my best life.
This sounds like it's going to go sideways.
You bet it does. So I'm like, I'm living, and it's right next to the window. So I open the window and I can see the Eiffel Tower, and it's all lit up, all sparkly and shit. And I don't know what that's about, but I get in the tub and
you start sniffing the bath salts.
Well, I smoked a little bit just to get myself in the mood, but I drop everything in. I like get in. It's fucking awesome. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I'm exhausted by this point, by the way. Like I was like 10 seconds to burnout, like to complete shutdown. Because of how crazy my life has been for the last year plus, like basically for one solid calendar year, with the exception of like Christmas and New Year's, I've been, me, what I've been doing.
Yes, sir.
So just like fucking grinding. So I'm like, it all comes to a head. Here we are. I finally get to decompress. I finally get to chill the fuck out. I'm loving where I'm at. This is so cool. I'm in fucking Paris, France, lying in this like ornate bathtub, just chilling, taking it easy, minding my business.
And you're not even as tall as the Dikembe Mutombo.
This is true. So I fit in this thing like it's fucking perfect. And then I realize, wait, did I bring the key to the other room, to my hotel room?
I knew this was gonna go sideways.
And the answer is a resounding no, I did not. So I'm like, oh shit. And by now it's like 2 a.m. It's like 2:15 in the morning. I'm like, god damn it. So I'm lying in this tub, and I'm like, I'm going to have to go down to the front desk in a bathrobe, soaking fucking wet, and ask them for a key to my room.
That is wild.
Remembering where I am and who I am and how this is going to be received. So here's how it goes. I stay in the tub for like another 10 minutes or so, and I'm like, I can't deal. Now I'm stressed out. I can't fucking deal with this. So I get out, I dry myself off a little bit, I throw on the bathrobe, and I'm like, well, here goes nothing. I grab a face cloth and I cover my face with it because I don't have a mask. And you're going to hear about it. They're about the masks. And I go down to the lobby, and the elevator opens, and it's looking right at the front desk. And and there's this French guy, this little guy, like mustache and like total Frenchman, 100% French guy. And he looks at me and he goes, and he says in French, like, may I help you? What is,
No, that's not what he said.
He said,
what the fuck are you doing? You don't
Exactly. But he's already fucking straight side eyeing me. And So I walk out and I take the face cloth off my mouth and I say, I'm locked out of my room. And he goes, "Where is your mask?" And I said, "It's in my room." And I cover my face back. I'm like, "That's why I have the cloth." He goes, "Well, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, "Listen, I'm just locked out of my room. I just need to," and he's like, "Well, what do you want me to do about it?" And I'm like, "Holy shit." I'm like, "Wow, this guy's coming at me completely sideways." And so I'm like, backing up. He's not wearing a mask. And all of the hotel staff wears masks. He's not wearing one. So backing up for a second, because this actually did happen. I'm not making this part up. This is an important part of the story. So I come out of the elevator and he's like, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm locked out of my room." And he goes, "Where is your mask?" And I look at him and I go, "Motherfucker, where is your mask?" And I'm like, don't. So I immediately, I'm like,
"Where is your mask, you son of a bitch?"
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, don't." I'm like, "Je suis désolé." I'm like, and I'm like, I have the cloth to cover my face. And then he's like, "So what do you want me to do about it?" And I'm like, "Well, I would like a key to get back in my room, please." And he goes, "But what room are you in?" And I start to walk towards the desk. He goes, No, you stay right there. Like he won't let me come close to him. And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. That's fine."
You bathrobe wearing Corona carries, son of a bitch.
Soaking fucking wet in the lobby at like almost 3 a.m. And so I cover my face back up and I'm like, it's room 216. And he's like, "What?" And I'm like, 216. And he's like, "What do you say? I can't hear you." And I take the cloth off my face and go, "It's room 216. And he goes, "Okay, fine. I heard you the first time." I'm like, "No, you didn't." And I'm like, "Oh, so what is with the fucking attitude, bro? And where is your mask? Like, you're not wearing one. So what the fuck, man?" So he scans a new key and I kid you not, throws it at me and goes, "There you go. Good night." And turns turns away from me. So he's facing the other direction. And I'm like, it doesn't go anywhere or do anything. He literally just turns his back to me. And I was like, wow. So I pick the key up off the ground. I'm like, "Merci." And I go up and I go into my room. Then I realize that I left my phone in the other room. So I go up to the other room with the other key. You see where this is going? I go and I let myself in. I get my phone. I come back down. The key that he gave me doesn't work the second time. So I can't get back in my room. So I'm like, fuck, I got to go back down again. So I do. But, and backing up for a second. So when I got back to my room the first time, and the key did work the first time around, I put on shorts and a t-shirt and put a mask on and put sandals on. So I'm not barefoot walking around. And, so I go back downstairs and he looks at me, and to be entirely fair to my man, he was super nice to me. He just didn't want me coming close to him. And he still wasn't wearing a mask. And I was just like, "Hey man, this key's, not working. It's just not working." He goes, "Oh, okay." And he scanned another one and he's like, "Just put it right there." And then he puts the other one down. He goes, "Okay, you take this one." And then good night.